Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hi, ladies. Happy Monday. And is this is this our first 2023 Monday, or were we
Last week was the
last
first.
week was our first? Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't have to go all hi 2023. We already did that last week. Although it feels like we've been in 2023 now for a billion years
Mhm.
already.
Yeah, slow start.
Oh, well. But here we are, and welcome to where are we? We're an Empowering Women Night, and our new platform to this. So we present an event or a person, and then we open it up to questions. In connection to the person that or event, and kind of see the energy coming in there, and any more messages. Also, if there's time, we can if we've brought someone in from before that you all had wanted to have questions to, keep them in mind, and we can ask those questions as well. Um, a shared platform, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so we might as well just jump in, um, unless we want to check in first. You can hear my voice. I'm still dealing with this cold thing.
Oh, wow.
So sick.
Such a drag, man. Such a drag.
This is a pretty exciting new format, I have to say, because I didn't have to prepare anything for tonight. It was the first Monday where I didn't have to prepare anything.
Right.
And it's like, this is really cool now because we're not each bringing, a thesis forward or whatever.
It was a lot, you guys. It was a lot. I have to admit, it was a lot to have to prepare every Monday night.
Every Monday. And now what we're doing is the host is going to prepare the person or event we read on. So it just feels very.
And then you can just come in and just join in
Yeah.
and not have to worry. Yeah, I'm loving it too.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I'm looking at the two of you. There's just so much hair. You guys just have so much hair between you.
Debbie's
We're all jealous. I can't be the only jealous one. Everybody's jealous in the chat, I'm sure.
Andrea's hair is absolutely beautiful and all flowing just perfectly. Mine is out of control today. So, but thank you, Kim, for noticing.
Oh, you look beautiful.
The amount. I am a Leo, so
all right.
Apparently you have to deal with this as a Leo.
Leo's mane.
Leo's mane. Okay. So tonight we are going to be meeting up with this beautiful lady, Fannie Lou Hammer. And here's some fun pictures of her. Fannie Lou Hammer. And you can see she was an activist here. And let's read and learn about her and have her come in and talk to us. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over so I can see it in, see it in front here. Oops. There we go. All right. So Fannie Lou Townsend Hammer rose from a humble beginnings in the Mississippi Delta to become one of the most important, passionate, and powerful voices of the civil and voting rights movement, and a leader in the efforts for greater economic opportunities for African Americans. Hammer was born on October 6, 1917, in Montgomery County, Mississippi, the 20th and last child of sharecroppers Luella and James Townsend. The 20th child.
20. Oh, my.
She grew up in poverty, and at age 6, Hammer joined her family picking cotton, age 6 years old. By age 12, I heard that.
Yeah, it was Arrow.
Arrow. Yeah, I was disturbed by that too, Arrow. I know. She was only 6 years old. By age 12, she left school to work full time. In 1940, age 12, you guys. In 1944, she married Perry Hammer, and the couple toiled on the Mississippi plantation owned by B.D. Marlowe until 1962. Because Hammer was the only worker who could read and write, she also served as plantation timekeeper. In 1961, Hammer received a hysterectomy by a white doctor without her consent while undergoing surgery to move a uterine tumor. Such forced sterilization of Black women as a way to reduce the Black population was so widespread, it was dubbed a Mississippi appendectomy. Unable to have children of their own, the Hammers adopted 2 daughters. That summer, Hammer attended a meeting led by civil rights activist James Foreman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, and James Bevel of Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. Hammer was incensed by the efforts to deny Blacks the right to vote. She became a SNCC organizer, and on August 31st, 1962, led 17 volunteers to register to vote at the Indianola, Mississippi courthouse. Denied the right to vote due to an unfair literacy test, the group was harassed on their way home when police stopped their bus and fined them $100 for the trumped-up charge that the bus was too yellow.
Oh.
That night, Marlowe fired Hammer for her attempt to vote. So the sharecropper person, her husband was required to stay until the harvest. Marlowe confiscated much of their property. The Hammers moved to Ruleville, Mississippi in the Sunflower County with very little. In June 1963, after successfully completing a voter registration program in Charleston, South Carolina, Hammer and several other Black women were arrested for sitting in a whites-only bus station restaurant in Winona, Mississippi. At the Winona jailhouse, she and several of the women were brutally beaten, leaving Hammer with lifelong injuries from a blood clot to her eye, kidney damage, and leg damage. In 1964, Hammer's national reputation soared as she co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, MFDP, which challenged the local Democratic Party's efforts to block Black participation. Hammer and other MFDP members went to the Democratic National Convention that year, arguing to be recognized as the official delegation. When Hammer spoke before the Credentials Committee, calling for mandatory integrated state delegations, President Lyndon Johnson held a televised press conference so she would not get any television airtime. But her speech, with its poignant description of racial prejudice in the South, was televised later. By 1968, Hammer's vision for the racial parity in the delegations had become a reality, and Hammer was a member of the Mississippi's first integrated delegation. In 1964, Hammer helped organize Freedom Summer, which brought hundreds of college students, black and white, to help the African American voter registration in the segregated South. In 1964, she announced her candidacy for the Mississippi House of Representatives, but was barred from the ballot. A year later, Hammer, Victoria Gray, and Annie Devine became the first Black women to stand in the U.S. Congress when they unsuccessfully protested the Mississippi House election in 1964. She also traveled extensively, giving powerful speeches on behalf of the civil rights. In 1971, Hammer helped to found the National Women's Political Caucus. Frustrated by the political process, Hammer turned to economics as a strategy for greater racial equality. In 1968, she began a pig bank to provide free pigs for Black farmers to breed, raise, and slaughter. A year later, she launched the Freedom Farm Cooperative, FFC, buying up land that Blacks could own and farm collectively. With the assistance of donors, including famed singer Harry Belafonte. She purchased 640 acres and launched a co-op store, boutique, and sewing enterprise. She single-handedly ensured that 200 units of low-income housings were built. Many still exist in Ruleville today. The FFC lasted until the mid-1970s. At its heyday, it was among the largest employers in Sunflower County. Extensive travel and fundraising took Hammer away from the day-to-day operations, as did her failing health. And the FFC hobbled along until folding. Not long after, in 1977, Hammer died of breast cancer at the age of 59.
59.
59. Look at all
what she went through in 59.
all she went through. But you know what? She kept finding her avenue. I mean, okay, I'll go like that. But here you see,
I actually gasped when I read about her, when the article you sent about the hysterectomy and then being beaten, horrifically beaten. I was just like, I can't even hear about this anymore. Like, it's so awful. And I gasped. Like, this is just one woman and she went through all of this.
Yeah.
And how did she keep going? A lot of people would just close down.
Yeah. She just kept, oh, look at that.
No, he's rolling here for some reason and purring. Little paws are going.
Oh my gosh. So sweet. Yeah, I was blown away by her story, and that's why I chose her. That she kept moving forward, kept getting kicked down, and literally, and kept moving forward, kept finding an avenue that where can I make, so this is not going anywhere. Politics but what can I do? And she found another way, and she kept searching, kept getting that voice out. Another reason I chose her was she was influential on Martin Luther King. And so a woman who was influential on such a great man who was able to get in and make some of the changes she didn't. That she came in at here and changed the world, made an imprint on this globe of change and awareness. And
She's very tough.
Mhm.
Not in a personality way, but just, I mean, getting stripped of her basic right to reproduce. And
Yeah.
be a woman, like, not that everyone that has to, but she didn't get a say in it.
So, and that's another thing that kind of came out of that story, because that actually was happening a lot. Like they even had a name for it in Mississippi that was happening to the Black women, but it was also happening to a lower income white women, where you would go in for one procedure and you'd come out and they would have tied your tubes or taken your uterus without telling you, because they did. Oh, you've already had enough children. The doctor would make that decision. Oh, you've already had enough children. You don't need any more. Or how are you going to, so they didn't see a future for you. So they are just going to make that decision for you. So that was common. And I actually know women who had to deal with that. So it was a real thing. So
I hope that what I say doesn't change the energy of what's happening here, because I hear stories like this, and we've done, stories about these amazing women, African American women, trying to move things forward, teach us, trying to teach us how to move things forward. And the way that we have treated African Americans, even still today, this goes on today, is the great shame of our nation. It just is. It is the great shame of our nation. And I think of when in A Color Purple, when Whoopi Goldberg says to her husband, "Until you do right by me, ain't nothing gonna go right for you." And I feel that so strongly. We need to make this right. And when I think of the elegance and the intelligence of people like Michelle and Barack Obama, Stacey Abrams, the gentleness of John Lewis when he was beaten repeatedly trying to get voting rights, we still haven't done it. It just hurts my heart. And I just think that, it's the great shame of our nation. And how dare these white supremacists come and rear their ugly heads yet again? How dare they? How dare they? We need to move beyond this somehow. I don't know how we do it, but we need to, and we need to lend support to this woman in our time, whoever that is, whether it's, we have plenty of amazing African American women doing this kind of work now, and we need to support them, help them, send our energy, send our prayers, send our money, help in any way we can, because we have got to change this once and for all. So I just had to get that out there, because when I hear this, my rage is up to here. I cannot stand it.
Was gasping, like, and to know that she's not isolated. It'd be bad enough if she was the only one. It would be awful.
Right.
That would be just horrific. But to think that, thousands upon thousands of women this may have happened to. First Nations, poor white people,
white people, the border, And Chris is saying, "Hallelujah, Kim."
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I have Debbie's card deck, so I picked a card for her, and this is the one that came up.
Oh my God.
There you go.
I am you.
Until all of us are are equal and able to vote and able to have rights and all that. None of us do. None of us do. She is us. She is us. And I feel that so strongly. She's us. We have to keep this fire burning.
Let's see.
Feels like everything they did to her only gave her more strength.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whatever you took from her, the beatings, whatever, it only made her more powerful.
Made her scream louder. Yep.
Louder. And to see her still fight, even though she'd been through all that, is a big beacon to others to keep fighting, right? So it made her stronger personally and her movement stronger. Her whatever she was trying to get accomplished. Because I mean, you got to look at her life and be like, oh my God, like you're amazing that you even did anything when you were treated this way.
Right. Just to not go into survival mode, because she was living a life where she just needed to survive. But on top of that, to start movements and start, trying to make things better for people that are coming up. It's so unselfish. She comes across as such an unselfish, forward-thinking woman. Yeah.
She really gives me the sense, especially, I mean, the injustice here is just so outrageous. But she's giving me a sense here that she said, when the injustices were happening to her in the moments of like the yellow bus thing or being arrested, and that she in those moments she wanted to hurt them too. She herself had to learn that didn't help anything. That to get into the same space that was letting them win, and it was something that she faced, and she's showing me like facing it in that time of when we think, which is true, horrific to be beaten so badly that your whole life is dealing with that. But that was the moment of truth for her in her own self, in seeing that. So the reason she's bringing this is for all of us, that our initial reaction to things is hate begets hate, violence begets violence. So we want to they're violent with it, we want to get violent and hurt them. There's another way, she said. There's another way. And she came to understand it because she saw where she could go, and she didn't like it, and she didn't want to be like them. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh. And it's threefold. It's against her as a woman. It's against her because of her skin color, and it's against her because of her economic level. Someone made choices against her because of those three things. Well, what's the opposite of that? A rich white man.
Right.
A rich white man made decisions, and still does.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense, not all men, but we know what we're talking about here, that a group of men were making these decisions and still do. And until, it's funny, I flipped this card, until the women have control of these three things,
mm-hmm.
right? This is where we will find the right balance in life, is when women make the decisions, because we won't do it based on people's skin colors or economic or being a male or female, right? Not on your gender.
Right.
Women have the far more nurturing approach to life. And why didn't and why don't these rich men help those communities instead of trying to stop them from breeding or whatever? I don't know what even that term is. Like, it's stopping them from procreating. Why didn't you help them? Why don't you help?
Right.
And she wants to also say, to finish that off, sorry, I had a little coughing attack. She wanted to say that it just made her scream louder in a more appropriate manner that would make more positive movement than if she reacted in hate and violence.
Do you have her name you could put up?
Yes, I'm writing it out right now. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. I'm getting that done right now.
And she's saying about, you were saying, Andrea, about these men, and she's saying with these so many people that try to keep other people down, that the fear is strong. The fear of, I could be that. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to reflect on me in any way. I don't want it to make me feel guilty. I don't, I just want it to disappear. And she's saying that the fears in these people are strong, and it makes them feel certain ways that they don't want to feel. And so rather than work through those feelings or work through trying to understand it, they just want it to go away, want it to disappear. But she's saying that the reason that she kept trying to make progress in these different areas is because she not only felt things could be different, she knew things should be different. She knew this wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And so it really was, I guess, acting out of gut instinct or that spirit knowing, that she just knew this was not the way things were supposed to be. People should not be treating other people this way. People should have, we talk about a spiritual principle all the time, free will, right? Free will, basic free will to vote, to do what you want with your body, to do what you want in your life. And so that, I think that spiritual principle, that spirit knowing was so strong in her that she just acted on it over and over and over again. She just knew things should be different, in a very, a very deep way that couldn't be stamped out. It couldn't be beaten out of her. It couldn't be, scared out of her. It's what she knew.
Debbie, there's 2 M's, or there should only be 1 M in her last name. Maybe it auto-corrected on you.
It did.
Yeah. There's something about, I keep hearing, I've got nothing to lose. So they stripped everything from her. They took her reproductive parts, and they beat her so bad that she had lifelong injuries. So really there's nothing left for her to lose, right? They've already stripped her of being a human and a woman. So I'm going to go out there and fight because I've got nothing to lose. There's something about that depth that she hit that ricocheted her back up to fight, right? I'm so angry for her. I don't feel she's angry. I know I'm angry. I'm very upset.
And that's okay. And we should be.
And we should be.
We should be upset and we should be angry about it. And that's okay. But what do we do next is what, how do we, and I like that she's saying, take that energy and make and use that to scream in a good way to really get this change out. But keep screaming. That's the thing. She's showing me, she's showing me if this door didn't open, the next, I'm going in this door. I'm going to keep trying until this change is made. I'm going to keep knocking on these doors. I'm going to keep going this way. I'm going to keep going. She did not, it's almost like it was like she was born that way. She was born to create, to go against injustices. I feel like even as a little child, she's showing me times of a little child standing up for injustices and it not always turning out right for her, but she kept doing it anyway. That's someone who knows and is continued to advocate for what is right.
What do you sense how she feels, her energy? To me, she feels like water. That's all I can, it's like water, clear, flowy. It's not, there's no anger, there's no emotion, and you know what I mean? She feels like water to me. That's the best way I can describe it. Just like the flow of the water. And
Yeah.
I really like her energy.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Water gets it done. Yeah, Liza says. So
I think that's a great analogy, water, because I think that is something I think she was proud of. At least what it seems that she's proud of is that she was so flexible. She didn't find an opening here, so she'd go over here. And she didn't find an opening over here, she'd go over here. She would find a way. And she wasn't, she couldn't really be stopped or, she would, if they closed a door, she would open a window. She just was that kind of, and to me, a real creative thinker.
Yeah.
She really, really had a way of problem solving that was so, I would have loved to see her in a position of power, because I bet she would be fantastic in diplomacy and things like that, because she seems like she just had a way of problem solving that was so creative. And I think water is the perfect description of her and her ability, her flexibility, and her ability to adapt. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah.
Melissa says she was a Libra.
So has she come back? Somebody.
I don't think so. It's funny, I can hear water running. Must be in one of your homes.
I totally can hear water.
I know, or maybe we're just hearing it because it's I don't think she's come back.
No, I don't have her back yet. She's, but it's interesting how she describes this. She's like, I'm not back in the way that you think I'm back. Like, there's some other energy source. I wouldn't even know how to place this. But not like not back in a human body and doing the human thing right now. But she's present.
I think she's like here watching over, helping women and things like that.
Still in the movement.
So I was asking, is there anything we can do to make it better? No, like for her personally, no, because she's past that now, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then I said, is it the men that is the cause of this? I got to know. And I said, is it a way of thinking, like elitism or religion or something? Got to know. And I said, is it hate and fear? And that's where the bingo landed, was it's hate and fear. It doesn't have to just be from a man. It could be a woman, group of people, a group altogether. Hate and fear, like you were saying earlier, Kim, that's where it lands. That's where it is.
The root. Yeah.
That's the root of it. It's ignorance too. It's like, we're all humans. That's it. We just look different, and we all look different to each other anyways. None of us look the same except for identical twins. And even there, you can tell they're a little bit different.
Right.
And this is just,
right.
This is not who we are.
Yeah. Like
we're just in this suit
we're literally all the same species. Mm-hmm. We are the same. That's it. And it doesn't matter how much money you make or what color your skin is, whatever. We're all the same. So stop it. Yeah. Stop the fear and the hate.
That's exactly
so. Jack just put this. I mean, it's so funny because that's what I heard. You said something, Kim. Or was it Andrea? Yeah.
Right.
You got that card. I kept thinking, and I heard in my mind, nobody's free until everybody's free. And Fannie wrote that. I didn't know that. I heard it loud and clear. Nobody's free until everybody's free.
That's right.
And I was going to say it, but I didn't want to interrupt whatever was going on at the time. But so I didn't realize she's the one that wrote this.
She is. It goes back to the golden rule, right? Treat others how you'd like to be treated. It's so simple. What do you want for yourself? That's what everybody wants. I want to be free. I want to have the right to worship the way I want to, and have a family if I want to, and not have a family if I want to, and
work and home.
Yeah.
We're all the same. It's the human. We need to eat and have shelter and have water and feel love and, have purpose and these things.
So I'm asking her about this, you guys. And she's just saying, you need to stop teaching from the very beginning. We raise our kids on fear. If you do that, you know what I mean? Don't do that, or you're going to get in trouble, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Everything is based in a fear base. You send them to school. If you don't get the grade, then you have to, you don't get recess. Everything's based on, it's a fear base. And she said, you need to stop that fear-based molding of people. And she's also talking about, and then you send them to church and it's all fear-based. You know what I mean? Everything is based on a fear of not making the cut. And so we need to stop that somehow. Kim, you were a preschool teacher.
Yes.
Tell us where to start. How can we start?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I always think the basic things we need to learn. I used to teach in preschool, how to be kind, how to share, how to support each other and help each other and work in cooperation and all of those things. That's it. If we could just learn those preschool lessons and carry them forward,
Mm-hmm.
But we have, billionaires that want to hoard everything that they have, and they don't want to share, and they have just, all these basic things that if we just learned them and stuck to them, it would be a different world.
Yeah. And fear is tough. And education it's all fear-based.
Yeah.
It's fear-based.
Why is the feeling of having the most money better than the feeling of saving lives? To them, obviously not to me or you guys.
Right.
Why is that a better feeling? Is that a lack of empathy? Is that some kind of psychotic thing? I don't even know. Like, you could save one life, and you have billions of dollars to. Like, think of that energy coming back at you if you gave your money to help people, even one of your billions.
Well, I mean, that reminds me of Schindler's List. And you guys remember Schindler's List?
Mm-hmm.
And, he, at the end, he was devastated because he felt like he should have done more.
Could he have
Could
saved
save more?
more? Yeah.
One more.
Oh,
It's like that feel to it.
so I love what she's bringing in here is this. We're not just, we're taking a lot of steps back to look at the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one person or one,
Mm-hmm.
gender or race or whatever. It's this whole system. Something's off. And why are the people with all of the money the ones who think like this when there's millions and billions of us that don't think like that and would help? That's a
Right.
bit strange.
Fear.
Right.
Mm.
So I listened to a conversation with it was an interviewer interviewing a woman who channeled and was asking a lot of things about the meaning of life and why we're here and she was talking about how we prepare when we come here and we prepare our lives and our lessons and all of these things. And he said, well, why don't all of us just have these really cushy lives where we have lots of money and we can just, hang out and, just have these really easy lives? And she said, oh, no, you don't understand. Nobody wants to be rich because it is the hardest life to find your spirit in.
Mm.
It's almost impossible to stay or get connected in that circumstance. Nobody wants to be rich. That's not a thing. Go on. And you do have those people like Oprah or like Jim Carrey who kind of at some point it breaks through, right? And they find it. They realize this stuff means nothing. This is just stuff. It doesn't mean anything. I thought it would be everything. It means nothing. They find that, but I thought that was so interesting. And now when I see these people that are just hoarding their money, and that really is what their life has. That's it. That's it. I often think about that and think about, nobody wants to be rich because it's almost impossible to get back to source because you're so immersed in this world. You are completely blinded by the material world.
Wow.
The 3D.
That makes sense.
It explains a lot, right? When you said that, Andrea, I thought it reminded me of that interview, and I thought that was so true. Yeah, they can't escape it. It's really, really hard to escape. Yeah, not impossible, but it's really, really hard.
So, does anybody have any questions for Fannie or someone else that we have brought in before?
Yeah, or even any woman that you feel an affinity with, or sometimes we have those women in history where we feel a closeness for some reason. If there's anybody like that you'd like to ask a question of, even if it's for you personally, we're happy to do that. I mean, there's 3 of us here. One of us should be able to pick up something. So 3 heads are better than 1. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anita Hill.
Anita Hill.
She's living, right?
I don't even know who Anita Hill is, actually.
She's the one who said that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas assaulted her, correct?
Oh.
Uh-huh. Well, harassed her, like sexually harassed her, yeah.
When he was in the running to become.
Yep. Okay.
Discernment. People didn't listen or want to see or want to hear what she had to say. Right? I hear no evil, I see no evil, I speak no evil.
Oh my goodness.
She said, she's warned. And now look at what we see many years later. We know where he is, right? We know what he's about. We know his wife is something else as well.
Right.
So she's like, I warned you, but you chose not to see.
Right. I feel like she's there. I feel like you're right, Andrea. I feel like she worked through a lot to get to that point where it's like, I did my bit. You know, you guys didn't believe me, but I did what I was supposed. But I feel like she really worked through a lot of depression and guilt and a lot of these things that she was made to feel by people who didn't believe her or told her to get lost or whatever. But she worked through it, and I feel like she's very, very strong and comfortable with herself now, completely. She's completely turned the corner, and she is very good with herself. As she should be, but I feel like it was quite a road to get there. Mm-hmm. And she thinks Ginny Thomas is crazy. Just FYI, I just got that loud and clear.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She also told me, you know, there's two men, at least two men on there that have been accused, and they're sitting on our court, our highest court, leading our country. So if they're sitting, if these two, you cannot have that on that type of leadership on your highest court and tell the people of your country not to do this. Don't, don't assault women, but we do have two men on the highest court who have at least who have assaulted women.
Men besides Thomas.
Yeah. So you have Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm.
I feel like she too is feels like the people around them that know these people and know how they are, know what they're like, and just turn a blind eye. They're the worst. It's like they know better and they don't say anything. They remain quiet. It's it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave up. I mean, that's got to be really hard for her to come forward and talk about that stuff and then get ridiculed. I mean, this is on national television and all over the world or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I told you.
Right.
Yeah. But her energy does feel very strong and steady now. Mm-hmm.
Somebody just said Shirley Chisholm. And when I read that, I heard clear as day, and I assume it was her saying this, that we would have a Black female president one day. I heard it clear as day. So that's from Shirley Chisholm.
Awesome. I love that. I missed all of that. I don't see any of that.
I don't know how long, but that is what she said. We'll have a Black female
president. That is awesome. Okay.
I think it's funny. I still hear the water running.
I do too.
I love it.
That is funny. All right. So we have a little bit of time here. And so and this is the next on the list. So Dolores Cannon. What does she have to say about all this? Add to. Hi, Kelly.
It's funny, when I was shuffling the cards, I heard kind of like wake up. Wake up. And then the card, it says connect to your deepest inner knowing.
That would be her, wouldn't it?
Magenta, crown chakra, what you know. It's kind of like what I heard, like wake up. We outnumber them, right? We outnumber the
Yes.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we all acting together to stop it? And not just like one cause here, one cause there. Why aren't we putting all of our causes together and the billions of us going, stop. Just stop.
Just stop.
Because we're all so connected. So let's wake up. Let's get her done.
Wake up, wake up.
I like that. Wake up. She's like, she's like, I thought that I had a glimpse into reality, into what our reality really is, and the other side, and everything that she said. I thought I knew, but it was only like a tiny glimpse of reality, you guys. So we know, and what we learned from her while she was here, and what she investigated and spent billions and billions of hours dotting those I's and crossing those T's, so she wouldn't be, because people were constantly trying to debunk her, right? So she had to really work hard to bring in what she was finding as true. She said, it's only a little glimpse, you guys. It's only the tiny baby glimpse. It's so much more, and you have it within you now. You literally are magical beings that can heal yourself, heal, these things. It's in you. Keep going. That card is so perfect for that. Go inward.
Mm-hmm.
That is perfect. And she's also saying that when we come here, we pick out, and we hone our and really work at and put so much energy and thought into our purpose and what we're doing here. And when people get in the way of that, when they force you into a different direction, they won't let you, do what you came here to do, that they actually create a lot of negativity for themselves. And she's using the word karma. She's saying like they create negative karma for themselves. It's a real negative to not allow people to reach the potential they came here to reach.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Oh, Kim.
That is a problem.
Not allowing people to reach the potential they came here for. Oh, Kim, that was really good. Why are you in the way of someone else's spiritual journey?
Right.
Why are you? Oh.
So she's like, this has negative repercussions on that person. It negatively affects them karmically going forward.
That's why murder is wrong, and that's why suicide is wrong.
Yep. And why a person pulling over a bus because it's too yellow and telling people they can't vote or they can't, participate, fully in their own free will, that's a problem. So she's saying this is you're not supposed to do that. And if you do that, there are negative consequences, or negative karmic consequences is how she's putting it.
I'm still resonating on what you said. Like that frequency vibration happening, like wow.
That was something.
It's one of those things that stop you in your tracks. It's like, what did she just say?
He's amazing.
Wow. Why are you trying to get in the way or stop my soul's journey?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I just thought
guess what would happen if we actually came alongside someone to help them and encourage them along their journey.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Dolores Cannon.
Wow. Is Dolores hanging out with Nostradamus?
I hope so.
I'm getting a sense that they did meet up, but they're on their own journeys, even on the other side. Mm-hmm.
She's saying she got all her questions answered. I feel like she just asked question after question after question after question, but she's like, I got all my questions answered.
Mm-hmm.
Nostradamus or anyone else, it's kind of like I asked question after question after question and got all of my questions answered. And you're right. It's I feel like it's like, and it was 1/10 of what I thought. It was like I had such a small percentage. I thought I had almost to crack the code, and then it was just so much more.
And I just want to make this clear. Teresa Ford just brought this in. No. There's no punishment or judgment. It's just that you've stopped. When you make that choice to go ahead and end your time here before the contracted time that you wanted to do, it just stops you from moving forward on your potential path that you had wanted to go through. So no, I'm not saying anything that wrong. I never said punishment anywhere near that. Mm-mm. We're not judged when we cross over. We go through a life review. And part of that life review is you go through what you feel in situations, and you also go through what the other people are feeling fully and during the situations and so forth. The only judgment you have is towards yourself. So I wanted to make that clear. I would be the last person.
No, you wouldn't mean anything.
Yeah. No, in fact, I've always gotten that suicides are some of the most kind of rallied around, protected, loved, comforted when they get to the other side, because they need, that's what they need. They need that love and comfort and understanding. And it's yeah, I always get that they are very, very, very loved and taken care of. Because they're disappointed, right? When they get there, it's like, oh darn, why did I do that? I should have just kept going, or so it's their own disappointment, and so people are there to be like, it's okay, it's all right. There's always a way to do things. There's always another way to do what you want to do when it comes to growth.
And there's just such a great understanding of how hard it is to be this human experience can be.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so when you pass over and they are there to help you on the other side, and with that extra love and care for those who decided to exit on their own, it's extra love and care. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Dolores Cannon. I would love to dive in a little more on her at some point. Have we read on her before?
I think we did.
Yes, we did at the very beginning. I think.
Oh, at the very, very beginning. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, way at the beginning. Mm-hmm.
So, Roxy, just for my own readings, they're asking if can suicide be part of a life plan? From my own readings, I learned, and you guys can tell what you've learned too, that it can be, but it's rare. And it's usually when it is, it's usually for someone else's benefit. Someone, so they can grow in their life and learn how to get past, this particular type of death or whatever. But it's more of it's used as a learning tool in a way for the people around them. And it's rare. It's not used very often in a life plan. That's what I do.
interesting turn of events. But good. We keep learning and growing. I love it. There was another thing I wanted to address, but we are at time.
I saw that you had starred Maya Angelou, and she came flying through as soon as I saw that.
Oh, okay.
I don't, we don't have to spend too much time or any time, but she's really wanting to talk about Fannie, or she's with her or something like that. It was really,
Oh, okay.
The poetry that Maya Angelou wrote, I'm just getting this, is like nothing compared to the sorrow and the depths that Fannie went through. So,
Oh, okay.
her life is a poem of this, of the sadness, but of the rising from the ashes.
Right.
Fannie's a poem.
Fannie is a poem.
I don't know why that was just really coming through, but Maya Angelou was just like, look at her life.
Right. That's beautiful. That sounds like her. It does sound like her.
Well, thank you guys. And thank you for all the questions and the participation in the chat. I love it. And next week we will be on Kim's channel.
Hey.
A whole event or person to maneuver through.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Every show is just so amazing. I love it. And it's really organic because it's coming from us and from the other side, from the viewers. You know what I mean? Like, this is an organic movement we're doing here. So I'm really excited to be part of it. And I'm glad you guys are part of it. And it's pushing us, right? Don't you feel it pushing us all?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right? Like they're...
Yeah.
This is we are moving things. Just even, and remember, our thoughts are even it make ripples and change. So if we can start, I saw a lot of comments like, I didn't even know Fannie existed. Like,
right.
This wasn't told to me in history, and so we're learning these things and change, and so that alone is shifting in what we're thinking, which also helps with the shifting of awareness and becoming awake and
exactly
moving in truth and reacting with.
I just had a vision. Imagine all of us standing side by side, all of us like-minded here wanting to do the right thing. They're standing right beside us, but it's just on the other side of the veil, and I can see us all. It's amazing. It's like imagine like we're all standing a foot apart from each other, but within that foot space is one from the other side, right? And we're all linked together, right? They're right there. Oh, this is such an amazing thing I can see.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is that connection that we're all connected. That's exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're seeing how our souls are.
That's
that we're all just connected.
Yeah.
And this kind of thing, it does that. It connects us all in this way. Reaching to the other side and bringing through these messages and having people in the chat participate, and we're connecting together. That is exactly what it's doing. It's connecting all of us.
Yay.
It's
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's connect in. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you for empowering yourself and loving yourselves. And we'll see you on Kim's channel.
Yep. See you next week.
Thanks. All right.